blank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocket Knicks University main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Feeling good, man. What's good, everybody? All right. Cowboy Bob in the building. Andios, Just Knicks is in the building. Salute, King Ribby in the place to be. What's good? King Embert, what's happening? Okay. Yeah, man. And here we are, man. Good vibes, man. Good vibes. The Knicks are winning and the Milwaukee Bucks are getting blown out. Man, feeling good, man. Just checking around the league real quick for some stuff. Nothing major, nothing worth me talking about outside of how dominant the Knicks look against the Philadelphia 76ers. I first want to start by saying welcome to everybody. Welcome. Man, it feels good to have OG Anunoby back. Right? Man, it feels good to have OG Anunoby back on the scene, crispy and clean. Man, that feels good, man. That feels good. It feels as if I'm trying to find a better view for us here. Be patient with me, y'all. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that one. No, I don't like that one either. Let's go with that one. Yeah. Yeah. So the Knicks beat the 76ers 106-79. The defense looked dominant. And this is the third game in a row. The Knicks defense has looked dominant. The defense appears to be coming together at the right time. And I mean an elite level defense now, not just good. Luke Skywalker Visions is in the building. Yeah, man. The Knicks defense looks dominant, and I mean dominant. Just the mere fact, man, that we could hold a playoff team to 79 points, even with one of their best players back. And just want to look at Tyrese Maxey's numbers. I thought they were going to be good. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey, 6 of 14 for 17 points. Tyrese Maxey had a plus minus of negative 29. Tyrese Maxey had the worst plus minus of anyone that played tonight. Right? Tyrese Maxey had the worst plus minus of anyone that played tonight. Man. just earlier today, we were talking about, is this team a team capable of making a deep playoff run? Salute to Daniel Barry Sports Highlights is in the building. E. Gibson is in the building. Man, I'm not gonna hold you, y'all. After tonight, after tonight's game, man, I'm starting to get back on that wagon of I think the Knicks can contend for the championship. Todd Bobby is in the building. Salute. Salute. Todd Bobby, don't be in here panicking, bro. Todd Bobby, don't be in here panicking, bro. You can relax now. Hey, everybody, that's an inside joke between me and Bobby. So, but yeah, man. Josh Hart gets a triple-double. And it's a monster triple-double, too. Josh Hart with 20 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Somewhere IKBM Dre is probably somewhere salty. IKBM Dre is yeah, King Everett. I just saw that. He says, where's Dre at? Tell him Josh Hart is looking for him. Yeah. 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 So a few things. The first thing I noticed, right, is Jalen Brunson didn't force many shots. I can't remember if he forced any shots. Right? I think Jalen Brunson let the ball come to him. Let the game come to him, so to speak. Right? The other night, I was critical of Jalen Brunson about not being able to recognize these events, right? When teams are going to load up to stop him, can he trust his teammates and get others involved? That was my beef after Sunday's game. And clearly, Jalen Brunson learned a valuable lesson. And so one of the things we have to remember about Jalen Brunson is this is only his second year of being the point guard of his own team. So you live and learn. He saw the way the game played out Sunday night, Tuesday night. He comes back, and it's a different approach. Now, with that said, having OG Anunoby there made things easier for him, right? But at least recognizing what needs to be done against a quality opponent, it's a win for us. So as I look back at that Sixers loss from Sunday, what I'll say is I'll take that as one to grow on. I think Jalen Brunson took that W as one to grow on. And so he bounced back Tuesday night, and here we are. Man, I'm super excited about what I saw. Right? I'm super excited about what I saw. Dante DiVincenzo only took 11 shots. Dante DiVincenzo was 4 of 9 for 3, made all his free throws, had 4 assists. The Nova Boys had a combined 23 assists between 3 people. That's impressive. You saw assists all around the floor tonight. You saw teammates sharing the basketball. That was impressive. That was very impressive. Virtuoso in the building. What I also saw in glimpses, and this is what I had been telling Cowboy Bob for a little while, and others, I really wanted to see what the defense was going to look like with Precious Achiuwa and OG Anunoby defending out on the wing. Jeremy in the building. Hit him up is in the building. Salute. So what I saw, y'all, and I know I tend to look deeper into stuff than a lot of people, right? But what I saw from Philly was a coach and Nick Nurse that knew all the flaws of Precious Achua and only OG Anunoby and still couldn't stop it. Right? Nick Nurse coached OG Anunoby and Precious Achua for about 3 or 4 years together. And he could not find a way to break down. He could not find an offense that could take advantage of the Knicks defense tonight, especially with OG and Precious and Hart and DiVincenzo. I think tonight is a night that we'll probably talk about a few things. We'll talk about how Jalen Brunson controlled the game and he only played 27 minutes. We could talk about how OG still didn't play 30 minutes in his return. We could talk about the minutes distribution. Dante playing 34 minutes. Hart playing 39 minutes. We saw Shake Milton. We saw Burks. We saw Bogey. Right? We saw Jericho Sims. And we saw Deuce McBride. And so of all of them, of course, the most impressive one was all of them. Right? The most impressive bench player tonight, I guess you can go in a couple of directions. You know, you could say Precious, or you could say Deuce. What I'm gonna say in this case, I'm gonna go with Deuce being the most impressive tonight. And here's why. Bogey played 22 minutes, scored 0 points. Burks played 12 minutes and scored 2 points. Shake Milton played 4 minutes and scored 2 points. For the most part, the scoring off the bench from the backcourt was Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride did his thing tonight. The other night against Philly, I was hard on him because I felt like he should have done more. Yeah, I felt like he should have done more. I think Deuce should have stepped up. I think Deuce knows he should have stepped up. And tonight, he stepped up. Tonight, he stepped up. Yeah, man. Tonight, that man stepped up in a big way. Right? Precious stepped up in a big way. Alfonso Scott is in the building. What's good? So we got contributions and not just scoring, right? I'm pointing out scoring, you know what I'm saying, as a matter of fact, you know, in that sense of but we all know all contributions don't come defensively. Right? Offensively, I'm sorry. Right? Tonight we got contributions across the board and in key moments. So we jumped out on Philly early. We stretched the lead. Philly never really felt threatening to us. OG Anunoby shut down Tobias Harris. Kelly Oubre tried to do a little something. I don't think Oubre's numbers were as good as they were the other night. Well, he was 7 of 15. Right? But it didn't feel as impactful. Buddy Hield was 1 of 7 for 3. You rarely see nights where Buddy Hield goes 1 of 7. I saw Tom Thibodeau go pseudo zone tonight. I saw Tom Thibodeau go pseudo zone tonight. I saw Tibbs go pseudo zone tonight, where where everybody zoned up behind Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was guarding somebody, and everybody just zoned up to stop Philly from driving to the paint. Sunday night we didn't do that. Sunday we didn't do that, and it was like a layup line at the rim. Now tonight I ain't gonna lie, I did see Hartenstein get dunked on, right? And it was clear as day. As soon as you saw it, everybody saw it. Kelly Oubre got a running start from just about half court and dunked on Hartenstein, right? But right after that, the Knicks defense tightened back up, and you saw us get in that mode like Philly. You're gonna have to earn every paint touch. Every paint touch, you're gonna have to earn it. Anthony D is in the building. Salute Anthony D. And Hit Him Up says, I saw the Knicks schedule. The Knicks have winnable games to reach 50 wins. What I'm gonna say to that's one of the things that I wanted to say to everybody. Right, the Knicks are 38-27 right now. Right, the Knicks are 38-27. What I'd like the Knicks to do going forward, right, is focus on one game at a time. I think the focus right now should be on the Portland Trailblazers on Thursday night. That's what I think it should be. Focus on one game at a time. But beyond all of that, what I want to say too is I honestly believe this Knicks team is a serious and for real championship contender once Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle get back and everyone else is healthy. If everybody is healthy when Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson get back, I think we're a championship contender. But how we prove it to others and ourselves is by winning one game at a time. Our march to 50 starts one game at a time, right? So we play and execute against Portland, and then we play and execute at Sacramento, and then we play and execute against Golden State. Just one game at a time, ensure everybody is healthy. We saw something else tonight. What I saw tonight, and you guys have been telling me this, and I've been denying it for a while. But I think y'all may be winning me over with this point. Alec Burks. Alec Burks, you got to do something, baby boy. Alec Burks, you got to tighten up. Alec Burks is going to have to do something. Some of those looks Alec Burks got tonight, and I can't believe that he missed. And Alec Burks is a veteran. Alec Burks generally doesn't look this bad for this long. And we're talking about 5 weeks now of Alec Burks looking this bad. On the other hand, Deuce McBride looks super confident. Deuce McBride looks super confident, everybody. Super confident. I'm not for sure what we have to do to get Bogey and Burks going. I'm not for sure what we need to do, but clearly something has to be done. Or because what's going to happen is if they don't tighten up, if those two don't tighten up, there won't be a question about which two dudes become situational when Randall and Mitchell Robinson return. It won't be a question. They would have played themselves out of the rotation instead of solidifying themselves in a rotation that desperately needs veteran leadership and mentorship and contribution from veteran guys that have been through significant playoff runs in the past. Bogey legit allowed Hartenstein to get dunked on tonight. Instead of cutting the ball off or cutting Kelly Oubre off in the lane, I know he saw him coming from a mile away. Why would you not step in front of that and take the charge? Bogey, you got to take the charge. Drip Moore's in the building. The Barber, Big Buddy's in the building. OG looked magnificent for sure. OG Anunoby, man. Let me tell y'all something. OG Anunoby looks like he was destined to be a Knick. OG Anunoby looks like he was created to be a Knick. Bogey gonna take a charge right out of New York. Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like, right? OG, Bogey, you got to take that charge right there, man, or at least foul him. Make him go to the free throw line. To die for is in the building. I was looking at the stats, man. So the game has been over for about close like 3 hours or so, right? And I was looking at the stats and all that stuff, and what I realized is all those numbers mean nothing. The main number tonight is our Knicks got a W. The Knicks got a W, right? The Knicks got a W. It was a much needed W after a depressing L Sunday night. OG Anunoby's back. He's the talk of the town. He's got something on his elbow. He was icing his elbow after the game. I think that's something that we're gonna have to get used to until the season's over, until he's resting. Right. That's one of those things where OG Anunoby is just gonna have to work through that after the season's over. But man, until that time, and listen, and I know I'm all over the place, but I really want to give kudos to Jalen Brunson's court awareness tonight. Jalen Brunson's court awareness tonight was excellent. I don't know if he got 10 assists or not. Brunson had 9 assists tonight. And he's not really an assist man, right? He's averaging 6.5 for the season. But yeah, Jalen Brunson's court awareness was on full display tonight. Josh Hart moving the ball around, not necessarily looking to create shots for himself or others, but Josh Hart got a triple-double mainly by being unselfish. So in this moment, right, I have to start the Josh Hart flower hour. Salute y'all. Salute Coach Miguel P is in the building. Allah Wise is in the building. So I got to start the Josh Hart flower hour, right? I've been watching the Knicks for a very long time. I mean, a very long time, right? Probably, yeah, a very long time. And during that time, I've seen a lot of selfish Knicks players come play for the Knicks. Concerned about their shots, their profile, their money. And the thing I want to say about Josh Hart, and listen, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'll be honest with you. Y'all know I'm a straight shooter. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, me being straightforward sometimes it get me in a little bit of trouble. I'll probably be too forward sometimes. But you know how I'm feeling, like, I'm not shooting you the gas, right? Before the roommates podcast, I don't know if I felt like this about Josh Hart. Right? So after watching the roommates podcast a little bit, I'm not like a diehard fan of it. Like, if it comes across the feed, so I'm like, oh, okay, they got a new show, I'll check it out. Right. But ever since I noticed that Josh Hart, there's a personality and a person behind what I see on the court, I'm slowly opening up to Josh Hart. Like, warming up to who Josh Hart is as a person and as a player, right? It's like something like what some of y'all had to do, like how y'all did with me. Like, yo, who's this fat dude always talking loud, right? Maybe it's a beige thing. Maybe it's a beige thing. Like, you got to get used to the beige people, right? So ever since I was watching Josh Hart and the roommates podcast, I've slowly been warming up, and slowly may not be the word. I like him. Let me put it that way. I like him, right? But let me say this, though. There have been players that have come in that have been super selfish, right? And every now and then there'll be a player that'll come and play for the Knicks that'll be totally unselfish. And we might just not like them. And I'll name 2 or 3 just so that you can get the gist of what I'm saying. A totally unselfish player, Jarrett Jeffries. The Jarrett Jeffries era of Knicks basketball, right? It's like, I don't know if I can hitch my wagons to Jarrett Jeffries, man. I just don't know. Jarrett Jeffries right? You're like, Jarrett Jeffries does all the team stuff, but I just can't find myself going there with Jarrett Jeffries. Yeah, give you another totally unselfish player. another totally unselfish player. Lance Thomas. Lance Thomas. And we're like, Miguel P. Y'all remember Lance Thomas, right? You're like, oh, man, Lance Thomas, a totally take charges, defend the other team's best player. Always talking positive, always looking to do the team stuff. And we were like, yeah, I don't know. Right? Another totally unselfish player, Chris Duhon. Chris Duhon, a totally unselfish player. Right? And so when we look at the unselfish players that come to the Knicks that'll do all the dirty work type stuff, right? All the unselfish players like that, occasionally we'll get in a mindset where, I don't know if I really like the unselfish player, not because he plays unselfishly, but generally there's always some type of stigma attached, right? We always attach some type of stigma to it, like, what else is there? And so Josh Hart to me was in that lane. Josh Hart is not them and they are not he, right? Let me be clear, right? I'm just going to be clear, right? They are not Josh Hart and Josh Hart is not them, right? But the unselfish players that we have had, and they are rare, right? They're rare. They're rare. JW is in the building. The totally unselfish player in the NBA is rare, right? The guy that will go out and do whatever it takes for the team to win. All they care about is winning. This concept in my mind is new because over the years I have been conditioned to see guys that don't care about winning, right? Like for instance, I'm not gonna bring up a you know what? I'll bring it up since Anthony D is here. In the early 80s, like 82, 83, the Knicks had a scoring machine small forward, right? And the Knicks would legit be up by say 9 points with 2 minutes left to go in a game. And this player would have a wide open shot under 2 minutes, up by 9. Nobody's guarding him. Instead of holding the basketball and dribbling out the clock, because the time and score situation says that the time is more important than the points, he would shoot anyway because he was a scorer. Situations in the game didn't necessarily register with him. Like he was in a mindset where it's like, I'm programmed to do like a certain thing. Right? And about 30 years later, the Knicks had a same type guy, similar guy, right? Similar guy. The Knicks would be in a tie game type situation. For instance, give an example or a better example. He would take a break to go to the bench, He would take a break to go to the bench. The Knicks would be down 11. The Knicks would cut that lead or shrink that lead and even take the lead and be up by 2, right? All the same players are still on the floor that scored all those points and brought the team back are still on the floor. He re-enters the game, and then he starts taking all the shots, and the team goes back. It goes back down by 5. Right? And so what I'm saying is this. I'm not diminishing those guys. What I'm saying is when you see a guy like Josh Hart, go out and do whatever the coaches ask them to do. Hey man, listen, we need you for 45 minutes tonight. Right? We need 12 rebounds. We need you out in transition. And oh yeah, we need for you to guard Jason Tatum, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Giannis, LaMelo Ball, Trey Young, Paolo Banchero. We need you to guard all those dudes too. And he'd be like, okay. Yeah, he'd be like, okay. And he'll go out and do that. So during this Josh Hart Flower Hour, I just want to point out the fact that yes, it took me a long time to warm up to Josh Hart, but I think Josh Hart is a necessary player. And y'all hear me saying it, man. I was way on one side of the thing for no, we shouldn't have given Josh Hart 19 mil a year for a dude that's going to come off the bench, right? But now, to me, Josh Hart is winning me over in the fact that both of our centers are hurt. One of them is hurt and can't play, and the other one is hurt and is fighting through it. So what does Josh Hart do while one center is hurt and can't play, and the other one is hurt and gutting through it like a trooper? Josh Hart go out and get you 19 rebounds. Josh Hart is out here getting you double-digit rebounds. Can he protect the rim? No. No. He's not a rim protector. I mean, he does have limits. Yeah, and to die for is like, yeah, man, the 12 million we paying Josh Hart, we getting way more than we bargained for with Josh Hart. We're getting way more than what we paying for. It's like when you go to the buffet place, or down here we have a Cantonese place, right? In South Carolina, there's a Cantonese place in the mall, and you can pay like $9, and they'll give you like, man, you can't even close the container for $9. You get like $9 worth of food, man, and you can't even close it. And I mean a big white tray. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like the big white tray. They just load it up, man. So that thing be about to bust. The lady at the counter have to staple it closed in order for it to stay closed. A lady, one time, no lie, one time a lady gave me, I went there about 8 o'clock one night. The mall closes at like 9, right? I went there like 8 one night, right? Snuck Mocha out. Me and Mo went, get something to eat. And the lady put so much food in our tray that she had to saran wrap it closed. Right? She had to saran wrap it. She gave us so much food, she had to saran wrap it so the food could stay on the inside. And I think that is what Josh Hart is giving us right now. Josh Hart is a food court vendor. I get the moral of the story is Josh Hart is the food court vendor, right? Hey, Virtuoso says them Jamaican food buffets got me like that. Right. Virtuoso said walk out with $28 worth of food. Yes. Got me eating, bro. Got me 3 meals out of that. Legit 3 meals out of that. And I think that's what we're getting from Josh Hart at the moment. I legit think that's what we're getting from Josh Hart at the moment, right? Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with my Josh Hart thing. Are we getting to a point that we're stretching Josh Hart too thin? Possibly. Possibly. Y'all heard his comments. Y'all heard his comments after the game, right? Drip Moore like, yo, and they don't even weigh it. No, they don't weigh it because the sign says $7.99, right? $7.99. It's like $8 and some change plus tax. Yeah. Yeah, and Big Buddy says they were closing up. That's why you got, hey, man. Thank you. Big Buddy, you know what I say to that, man? Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. And so I know it sounds like it's about to be a Josh Hart love affair. Maybe it is. Right? Just want to be just want it to be organic though. Just don't want it to be forced. Right? Just don't want it to be forced. My guy is down and he won't be back for a couple of weeks. My dog is out and he probably is out like a week and a half. Right? And while my man is out and while my dog is out, Josh Hart is out here grabbing us 19 rebounds. Nick G is in the building. Yeah, man. So am I turning the corner? Is this starting to become a Josh Hart love affair? I don't know. I don't know. What I'd say is at this point, if it is, so what? If it's not, so what? Josh Hart, though, does deserve his flowers. And when you go 20, 19, and 10, that's amazing. That man got hit in the face, and instead of having a meltdown, kicking the basketball out of bounds, he just threw his headband to the side. Intensity. Is that what you guys, that as Knicks fans, that's always what we've asked our Knicks players to give. Everything. Can you get Josh Hart? Can you give us everything? And for the past month or so, Josh Hart has been giving us everything that he has to give. And like Cowboy Bob said a few nights ago, or maybe it was earlier today. So I'm gonna say it was earlier today, right? Josh Hart's 3-point ball is going. Even his 3-point ball is going. Right? Tonight, Josh Hart was 1 of 6 from 3, right? And the game against the Sixers, he was 1 of 7 for 3, right? But you know what? Even though Josh Hart is 2 for 13 on his last 13 3-point attempts, right? Josh Hart is 2 for 13 on his last 13 3-point attempts, right? You know what percentage he's shooting for 3 in the month of March? I'm going to type it in the chat. That's what Josh Hart is shooting for the month of March from 3. Even with 2 terrible games, Josh Hart is still shooting 40% from 3, right? And after the All-Star break, I think Josh Hart is shooting 40. After the All-Star break, Josh Hart is shooting like 40% from 3, right? How many players you know can get you a triple-double double-digit rebounds, and still shoot 40% from three. And for those that think that might be a fluke, right? If you think that might be a fluke, I have another number for you, and we spoke about this earlier. But I have another number for you. And where is it? Okay. So I'm looking for it, but I got to look in a different place. Splits. There it is. So Josh Hart, after the All-Star game last year, Josh Hart shot, where is it? 47.4% from three. So if we think Josh Hart warming up from three is a fluke, last year he shot 47.4% from three to end the regular season. From the All-Star break to end the regular season. And now he is shooting after the All-Star break. Now Josh Hart is shooting, and this is from the All-Star game to today. Or the numbers are probably changed after tonight. I think ESPN doesn't update until in the morning. But after the All-Star break, Josh Hart is shooting 39.6% from three. But before the All-Star break, he was shooting 30% from three. So we're getting triple doubles and another solid three-point shooting threat, along with hustle and minutes. What else can we ask for from Josh Hart? I guess we could ask for something unreasonable, right? I guess we can ask for something more unreasonable, like maybe get a moderator for the podcast, maybe get somebody in there to help direct the podcast so it won't meander. That's about it. Everything else is like you can't ask Josh Hart to do anymore. Like you legit can't ask Josh Hart to do any more than what he's doing right now. Right? High rebounds, defense, assist man. Yeah, there are some nights where Josh Hart legit gets more assists than Jalen Brunson. And JW says he did the same thing last year. He stepped his game up down the stretch. My only fear, though, is JW with that. My only fear is we didn't have as many injuries last year as we do now. And there was like a synergy last year, like a coming together and things of that sort last year. And I'm hoping that we don't wear Josh Hart out by asking him to do too much. All right, everybody. That has been the Josh Hart Power Hour. The Josh Hart Flower Hour. I'm sorry. That has been the Josh Hart Flower Hour. Right? I think as a fan base, at some point, we'll probably have to start putting some more respect on that man's name. At some point, we'll have to start putting some more respect on that man's name. That man's going to be a Knick for this season and the next 4 seasons. Josh Hart is a Knick for the foreseeable future. When it's all said and done, Josh Hart may have played 6 seasons with the Knicks. And that is more than a lot of our favorite Knicks have played with the Knicks. That's more than Bernard King played with the Knicks. That's more than Michael Ray Richardson played with the Knicks. That man may play 6 seasons with us, right? He's got 1 in the bag. This one's almost over, and he's got 4 more after this. What do you do, right? Anybody impressed with Jalen Brunson tonight? I am. And notice I'm talking about Josh Hart, and I'm talking about Jalen Brunson, and my favorite Nova guy is Dante DiVincenzo. Right? I'm not even mentioning Dante for some reason. Y'all know I have a little segment where I usually go off on a tangent about how much I like Dante DiVincenzo, about how much he reminds me of guys like Rex Chapman. And Dante DiVincenzo probably doesn't even know who Rex Chapman is. Right? But Jalen Brunson impressed me tonight where he didn't force certain shots. And there was a play where Jalen Brunson got hedged real hard and Precious was open going to the rim. And Brunson dribbled away from the hedge or the bracket or whatever you want to call it. Pseudo trap, almost double team, two-man hedge, clamp, whatever you want to call it. Right? Whatever you want to call it. Jalen Brunson dribbled away from that and still gave the ball to Precious Achiuwa that had worked free, and Precious Achiuwa got a shot at the rim. I can't remember if Precious made the shot or not, but the fact that Brunson saw how hard that man worked to get open and to reward him with a shot at the rim, he earned something in my book. Last year's Jalen Brunson would have backed up out of that and shot a 3. Salute to Jalen Brunson for that. When people work hard, you got to reward them, bro. When these cats work that hard, you have to reward them. And Precious tonight had 2 monster jams, and OG Anunoby had 2 monster jams. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I don't want to put a rock in anybody's shoe about the roster, but having big athletic wing players changes the dynamic of a team. Right? Having 2 big, bouncy, athletic, strong wing players, to me, is a breath of fresh air. I enjoyed seeing it. I hope we throw the bag at Precious. I'm not gonna lie. Right? In my mind, everybody on the roster, even Shake Milton, right? Everybody, this team right now, I could see us going forward with them. Now, will we have to upgrade Bogey? Maybe not because Bogey's a bad player, but at his age, how much does Bogey have left in the tank? Right? Alec Burks, has Alec Burks lost it? This is the longest stretch, I'm not gonna lie to you, since I've seen Alec Burks. And I'm not saying that he hasn't had longer slumps. I'm saying I personally have not noticed them. I'm rooting for Alec Burks. I want Alec Burks to turn this thing around. Right? But if he doesn't, and Tibbs turns to Shake Milton, I wouldn't be mad at it. I would not be mad at all if Shake started cutting into those Alec Burks minutes. Because the one player for sure you can't take those minutes away from is Deuce McBride. And the more that, as I sit here thinking about a lineup with Deuce McBride and Shake and Deuce, I'm almost at a point where I wouldn't be mad at seeing a Deuce and Shake type scenario. Now, here's the thing. When you're winning, you're winning. So it's one of those deals. DSJ is in the building, fresh off of the completion of a platinum album. Salute to DSJ. DSJ is in the building. I wouldn't be mad at it, right? And then plus two, I don't know. Let me ask y'all. I'm gonna ask the chat this. Well, D Block is in the building. Have y'all heard anything about a Alec Burks injury? Anybody heard anything about Burks? Something slowing Burks down? Maybe a nagging injury? Maybe he got bumped or something like that? And B Baller for real says a deuce and shake situation sounds most satisfying. You know what? I think I may be with you on this. And it's no shade at Alec Burks. Like I'm not Hoodie Kev, right? I'm not Hoodie Kev. I don't hate Alec Burks, right? And JW says, I love the Precious and OG combination. They are 2'6'8", 6'7" forwards with athletic and long wingspan. Yep, 7-foot wingspans. Yeah. Yeah. Knicks Live, salute. Knicks Live says he's not hurt. He's just trying to find a fit. And in Tibbs' system, you can't freestyle. Right. Right. IKBM Dre is in the building. I know. Hey, so since IKBM Dre is here, I have to repeat the Josh Hart Flower Hour. Y'all ready for 25 minutes of love for Josh Hart? I joke, of course. I'm joking, of course, right? But DSJ says Alec Burks isn't injured. He's 32, but 44 in basketball years. And you know what? And I think you're kidding, but I think you're on to something, right? Right? I think you're on. I think you're on to something. I honestly believe that Alec Burks will be ready for the playoffs. That's my belief. Now, if he doesn't show up in the playoffs, then it'll be interesting. C-Mac is in the building. C-Mac is a troll. C-Mac is a troll. And IKBM says Josh Hart is the GOAT. He reversed my gray hair. He lowered my car insurance, pays for my Uber Eats, and co-signed on a loan for me. Yeah, he co-signed my loan too. Yeah. Josh Hart helped me pass an exam last semester. Appreciate you, Josh Hart. And Josh Hart helped me change a tire the other day. I told him I didn't need any help, but he helped me anyway. JW says Deuce and Shake both are the same type of player, gritty, hard nosed, give it to raw type players. Yeah. No doubt. The Shake thing is interesting to me in that I always, from a distance, had a man crush on Shake Milton as a basketball player. Y'all get what I'm saying. This is kind of like how a lot of you guys like have like a man crush on a guy like maybe LaMelo Ball or a DeJounte Murray or a Brandon Ingram, a Devin Booker. So I had kind of like a man crush on Shake Milton for quite some time, right? As a basketball player, y'all know what it is. And so my thing is every time we get a guy that I liked who played for another team, it's like I have an unreasonable expectation. For instance, I like Josh Hart with the Lakers. I didn't like Josh Hart in Portland or New Orleans. Right? I liked the Lakers version of Josh Hart. Right? Like go out there, be a conduit type, bring people together. Or was it the Pelicans? I didn't know. I like the Pelicans version of Josh Hart, not the Lakers or Portland version. I didn't like the defensive stopper for the Lakers type thing. And I didn't like the scoring machine, Josh Hart in Portland. I like the semi Draymond Green type of Josh Hart in New Orleans. I think I kind of like that one. Right. And then when we got him here, I didn't know what to expect. Because 6'5" guys that are not super athletic or that are not super vertically athletic or blazing fast, you got to find like a role for them. And DSJ says, if only Josh Hart could shoot threes, he seems like a $13.6 million per season type of player. And I still think he's a gross overpay. Well, DSJ, he can't be a gross overpay this year at 12.9. At 12.9, bro, he can't be a gross overpay. And he's got you 6 triple doubles in one season. Or 4 triple doubles, or whatever the number is. However number of triple doubles this dude has at 13 million, we really can't, Now, is he an overpay because it prevents us from going to get a megastar? I think that might be a conversation we can have like during the summer. Right? But today, with rosters locked in and us trying to finish the season and trying to win a chip, I think whatever we're paying Josh Hart right now is a significant underpay. A significant underpay for what and that's my opinion. And everybody's entitled to their own, and I welcome it. I'm glad. I'm excited about everybody having their own opinion, to be honest. Right? The one thing, how it is, when you do these things and people will be like, yeah, man, Uncle Freezy, what you think? I'm like, hey, man, what do you think? And to be honest, isn't being a stat stuffer what you ask for from a guy that's a Swiss Army knife? From a do-it-all guy? Is that not what we expect? From a Swiss Army do-it-all type guy, like a dude that's gonna play 4 or 5 roles during the course of a game. Is it not what we want from that guy? A guy that's going to get you dunks in transition, grab you a whole bunch of long rebounds, shoot the three at about 40%, defend guys, play the 4 when your 4s are out, play the 3s when your 3s are out, play the 2 when your 2s are out. Play make in time at times, initiate offense at times, right? And come off the bench and be the 6th man. Is that not what we really want from Josh Hart, a Swiss Army knife? Kev Guapo is in the building. And listen, and if it sounds like I'm leaving one camp of Josh Hart, one camp that felt one way about Josh Hart and making my way to another camp that feels another way about Josh Hart, that may be what I'm doing. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure what I'm going through right now. All I know is I think it's reasonable to um give Josh Hart his flowers for what he's providing in a season where we could easily be in lottery conversation. I want to give Josh Hart his flowers. Him and Dante DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson and Hartenstein on and off playing through injury and Precious Achua trying to find a role, right? Because teams in our situation can go one way or the other. And historically, if you're not a championship level team, you generally just pack your bag and get you a high pick out of the lottery. That's what organizations do. Organizations generally, the majority of them, right? If they're not championship contenders, if they're not the Milwaukee Bucks type organizations, if they're not Miami, if they're not Boston, what they would do is hey, we got six people injured. We're out here trying to get minutes out of Jacob Toppin and Daquan Jeffries. You know what? Let's just pack it up for the year and just get a pick in the lottery. The fans will understand if we just pack it up. Let's just let Jalen Brunson take all the. Let's let Jalen Brunson just average 30 points a game for the rest of the year. And if he get one nick or scratch, we're going to sit him out 5 games. We've seen it before. We've seen it with Oklahoma City. We've seen it with New Orleans. We've seen it with a whole host of teams. The mere fact that Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo and, again, Isaiah Hartenstein, who deserves flowers as well, Precious Achua, these guys, we legit should give them their flowers for keeping our season afloat. Because teams could easily make the decision to go the other way, right? They could easily not bring in a Shake Milton. They could have easily at the trade deadline not made a trade to bolster the roster for the playoffs. They could have just let it play out, and Jalen Brunson would have, when he got his knee knocked together, we could have seen Jalen Brunson could have been out for 2 weeks for that. Right? And I know it's not a 2-week injury. I know that. I know it's not a 2-week injury. I know that. Y'all know that and everything else. But what I'm saying is I want to give these cats their flowers for being competitors and establishing the culture of never quitting. Miguel P says, Josh Hart painted my grandmother's apartment last week. Dang it. So that's why he didn't paint my grandma's apartment, because he was busy. God dog it, Josh Hart. God dog it, Josh Hart. You got to step your game up, bro. Josh Hart was supposed to come over here and get a kitten out of a tree, and he was somewhere helping Miguel P. God dog it. Josh Hart is such a slacker. Yo, Josh Hart was supposed to come over here and get a kitten out of the tree, man. I had to call the fire department, man. God dog it, Josh Hart. So I guess we should address this thing. What are y'all expecting from the Portland game? So we have Portland on Thursday. I'm sure those guys are leaving in the morning. I'm sure they're flying out in the morning. What? Knicks Live, you forgot yours, man. God dog it. Knicks Live said he forgot his on a trip to SeaWorld, but Josh Hart had his back, bro. That man, hey, Josh Hart out here looking out. Josh Hart looking out for the cookout. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. C-Mac says Josh Hart sold Bully his signature pasta salad, the one with white cheddar and baby tomatoes, olives, and pickles and shit and all that in it. Ew, whatever. Yeah, man. Josh Hart was the best man at my wedding, bro. Josh Hart legit played 23 minutes in the first half against the Sixers and then was the best man at my wedding during halftime. Yo, y'all wild, man. Y'all are wild. And E-Dub says Josh Hart fixed his car. On the expressway, by the way. On the expressway, Josh Hart drove 2 hours in traffic in the rain at night to fix E-Dub car on the expressway. Somebody told me that Josh Hart was the man on the grassy knoll. I don't believe that though. I don't believe Josh Hart was the man on the grassy knoll. Hey, and C-Mac says Josh Hart taught Dripmore how to cut. Wow, Dripmore, man, you should be thankful, bro. You should be thankful, bro. Man, my dog is in here snoring loud.
Yo, salute, boss. How you?
What's good, man? What's good with you?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Salute to the chat as well.
Yeah, man.
How did this Josh Hart game all to your life today? We got a sermon on the court from Josh Hart.
I know. And he did it while he was shooting free throws too, by the way.
Hey man, I can't be too mad at what I saw tonight. At least
Right.
saw a lot of good things that can only like further strengthen my belief that this team can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. As long as we have health and Randall, of course.
Right. Right. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I see components of a championship team, and I know others don't see it because of maybe I just see stuff in a weird way.
I was gonna say maybe PTSD is why others don't see it, or is it just you're viewing it? Because hey, look, man, if you think this team can get to the Eastern Conference Finals and you're one of the last four teams, then I mean,
Anything can happen at that point, right?
I mean, not even just anything can happen. If you're one of the last four teams, are you not a contender at that point? What more do you
Yeah.
have to prove to consider yourself a contender?
I don't. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. My thing is I feel like I'm seeing the individual pieces of a championship contender. The
Like
one thing I don't,
characteristics,
huh?
like specific characteristics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like I see, like I see the backcourt defender
yeah,
that can shoot threes, and then I see the multifaceted wing defender that can shoot threes and is athletic, and then I see the jumbo wing that I've been begging them to get since I've been saying names like Nathan Knight and Isaiah Roby,
yeah,
right? And then I'm seeing the rebounding
yeah.
and the weapon X bucket getter that you need.
Got two of them. If you're keeping it
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also seeing the head coach tinker with things that he never tinkered with historically,
He
which
went. He went to pressure. I mean, he went to like we got rid of having a third center tonight for the most part,
yeah,
and we went to Precious at the five. We started the game with OG at the four.
yeah, yeah,
We tinkered around with for Tibbs non-traditional lineups, at least for him,
right. One of the other
and it
oh,
worked. And it worked. Yeah, go ahead, Breezy.
now okay, bro.
No, no, I said go ahead, and I said it worked. I have my fault for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay. Now and yeah, nah, man. I saw um I saw Jalen Brunson be able to decipher a planned defense, like a game planned defense.
Yep.
I saw Jalen Brunson turn the corner and stop and back dribble right when he recognized something that they may have shown him on a whiteboard,
Hmm.
right? Because Sunday he would have just dribbled head straight in there, and it's been like, aha, this is exactly what we wanted you to do.
Yep. And some of that does have to do with who's on the court and who's not on the court. Like he adjusted his approach, but some of those lanes that he got to get passes into simply didn't exist when you had Precious, Hartenstein, and Josh Hart at the same time. Like OG just existing shooting 40% from the corners. It gives Jalen Brunson that extra second, the extra split second to make the decision.
Yep.
And for a guy like him, all he needs is that little bit of extras, like a little like a little break,
Yeah.
and that allowed him to dissect and not try to do too much because he knows I have the help needed, I have the spacing needed, I have the part that fits
Right.
for what we're trying to do. So like I think he took it upon himself too much in the first game, and notice tonight, as soon as that pick came up and they tried to trap, he waited, then he hit the roller at the right time.
Yep.
And then we created the advantages repeatedly over and over that way. And it was honestly it was a lot of the same stuff that we saw in January.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? That was our beef with Emmanuel quickly. That what you just said right there. What you just said.
Patience.
With that was our beef with quickly, whether he's a point guard or not.
Yeah.
Right. Like hard hedge. They show hard on one side to as a deterrent. Right. Because they don't want you to dribble around them. They would rather you back the ball out to half. Right. Or pick the basketball up so they can trap you. Right. Yeah, man. And DSJ says the moment, yeah, back dribble, everybody scream, no, RJ, don't back up to New Rochelle. Yeah,
And RJ did that as just to get to the rim and not pass it, whereas Brunson was doing this to survey the court
yeah,
and give the team the most optimal time or the most optimal look to score.
right.
And in those situations when you had the extra spacing, it gave Josh Hart extra room to cut and not really bump into other defenders on his way to the rim. It allowed Josh Hart the extra space to be a decision maker going downhill, whether it be off the short roll or in transition. And the pieces fit, and I think I have to give Tibbs some credit. Like I was wondering if he was gonna go with OG and Precious and Hartenstein to start the game, and it probably would have worked defensively, right?
Right.
But I think he realized, probably wiser than me, he realized Brunson needs that extra space on the court.
Right.
Josh Hart needs that extra space on the court to be effective. And if you're going against a team like this that has to, the way they have to compete is to be able to shoot really well from the perimeter because they just don't have that isolation talent. Even though Maxi came back, they just didn't have the necessary talent to just be overwhelming with Joel Embiid being out. Having all these guys that have the versatility and the ability to switch out,
Right.
I think he went with the smaller lineup on purpose, and then he went with the smaller lineup with the bench with Precious at the five.
Maxi is fast, bro.
Oh, he's unfair,
Maxi is very,
and
very.
he's just now arrived.
He's
He's
not
gonna be
even
better.
confident yet.
He's gonna be a problem.
When he gets that star confidence, bro, it's gonna be.
The
Um,
arrogance, like when he
yeah,
gets
man.
like when that time when Harden got the keys given to him and he immediately dropped 40 first
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
When he gets that confidence,
When you
whether a
know you
year or two
have a
now,
skill that can't be stopped.
oh man, I
Yeah.
was just like watching him play. It's like one of those things where at this point in his career, he's not one of those guys. He can get hot, obviously, right? But if he doesn't get off to a hot start, you're holding your breath. I mean, you're not holding your breath, but it's like, okay, cool. Whereas if he when he progresses and gets further in his career, a slow start is not going to impede him or slow him down. He's just going to be the same beast over and over. Whereas when you get these guys that are younger, if they have a bad start to the game, it might hold them up for the entire game.
Yeah.
He's 2 3 years away from just like it doesn't really matter if I start the first quarter 1 for 6. I'm gonna still get the 30 very efficiently. I'm gonna get hot at some point.
Right.
He's at that stage where he just doesn't have the consistency just yet, but
Not yet.
he's a year or two away. He's going to be a
You
problem.
know who I think is a year or two away
Who?
from I think taking and I know this is gonna sound like a reach, right? Everybody, I know this is gonna sound like a reach, but just bear with me on this, right? Because I have something I want to use to back up with it. I think Precious Achua is a year or two away from taking a Julius Randle, Jeremy Grant type jump,
Hmm.
right? And when I say that, I don't mean a jump in physical talent because the physical talent is undeniable,
Yeah, you can see that from a block away.
right? The physical talent is undeniable, right? But the mental part of the grinding through the process, getting better incrementally, adding things to your game, you know what I'm saying? Like if
Like
Precious when Precious gets to the point where he could shoot 35% from 3, right? And
36,
those
and he can lock in 25 minutes every night,
yep,
regardless of what's going on. If he's playing good or playing bad, he knows that he's going to get that 25 to 30, no matter what's happening.
yep,
That brings like a sigh of relief. And you know what's funny? Him getting his next contract might be what calms him down and helps
right,
him focus. Because like a lot of times, being in your contract year, you might be pressing. You're thinking about this, that, and the third. What am I gonna get in the off season? And whenever that whenever that contract gets sorted out, wherever he is, if he's in New York, hopefully he's in New York, that'll
right,
ease his mental.
right,
He knows where he's gonna be, what he's gonna be doing, what's expected of him, what he
right,
needs to work on. And that's when you see the biggest strides for guys like that are late bloomers. And
right,
like you said with Julius Randle in that aspect, like Julius Randle got paid here. He got his what 3 years, 60 million,
Right. Right.
and and then the first year he came here and he knew, okay, I have to do this X Y Z in order
Yeah.
to get to this point, and he already had 2 more years on the contract, so he was just in a settled state where it's like, okay, I'm expected to perform at this level. I have these expectations. The team wants this XYZ from me. The
Right.
coach wants this from me, and the coach told me immediately as soon as he got there, Tom Thibodeau,
Right.
he's on a track, one track, and all he has to do is focus.
And
That's what you described.
Randall had just enough competition from others at his position where it wasn't necessarily just given to him, where he had to earn it.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, we signed Bobby Portis and Marcus Morris.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, we want you to be this, but you still have to earn
We ain't gonna
these
give it to
things
you,
in
but
game.
yeah, we ain't gonna give it to you completely, but the opportunity is right in front of you. You know exactly what you need to do.
Right. Right. I think Precious is a 3-point shot away from being. I'm not gonna say where Jeremy Grant is right now, because right now Jeremy Grant is a bucket. Right, Jeremy Grant can get his. It's amazing for a dude that skinny to be able to be that strong and explosive. Like no lie, every time I see Jeremy Grant hit the floor, it looks like a
A
box.
bag of bones.
It just like a box of matches on him. You look down there, you're like, oh no, it ain't no matches, man. That's Jeremy Grant down there, man. Yeah. But
Uh,
but
yeah.
but his development was not one that was in a straight line.
And it wasn't expected because when he came out of college, he was just a straight athlete.
Right.
And when
Right.
he was with OKC, nobody was expecting him to turn into what, a 40% 3-point shooter, like a three
Oh
level score.
no. Oh
We
no.
just
No.
thought he was an athlete
We thought
that
he
was
was
just
like
gonna be,
Thabo Cephalosha or Andre Robertson. That's what I thought, like a bigger version of them
yeah.
is what I thought initially. Right. Initially. And then you saw him add little things to his game and things of that sort over the course of time.
Yeah.
Right. But with Precious, even the last 2 games, you see he caught the dribble handoff up top and he didn't even look at the rim.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't even threaten the defense. Right. And once he gets to a point where teams can't allow him to even think about that, where that man has to leave the elbow and be out on the perimeter, then
Consistently applying pressure to
right
teams.
now you can cut hard behind his man
Yeah.
as opposed to his man sagging in the paint and bumping your cutter.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I think y'all will remember me having this conversation with y'all about the difference of why Reggie Bullock wasn't cutting hard when RJ Barrett was on the perimeter. It was because at a time people didn't respect RJ Barrett's jumper like that. And RJ Barrett's going to be a fine player. I'm not talking trash about RJ Barrett. I'm just
Yeah.
saying at that time, even though he was shooting 40% from 3, people still didn't buy into it. They were like, yeah, at some point this is going to go away. And so guys like Reggie Bullock, the other guys couldn't cut hard behind him because RJ man was sagged. It's the same thing with Mitchell Robinson. Like, you know how people say when Mitch is on the floor, the paint is clogged up and that we don't have enough movement and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was when Mitch was doing a dribble handoff, the opposing center had no real basketball reason to be out there guarding Mitch on the perimeter at the 3-point line.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with Hartenstein. Now, I think Hartenstein's a shooter, right? But when Hartenstein comes set the screen from 35 feet, you know how they call Hartenstein way up top to set a screen like 30 feet away from the rim?
Yes, let the ball handler go downhill.
Yeah, but Hartenstein's man doesn't have to go guard Hartenstein from 30 feet or 25 feet or 20 feet. So he stags back to the top of the circle.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Sags back to the top of the circle and it clogs down your defense, so to speak. Now with Precious, with Precious, and I know I meant to compared Precious to two centers, but I just wanted to draw the analogy to everybody in the chat that's listening. Once Precious gets becomes a threat from that level, and I don't mean he has to be 42% from three. It's not what I'm saying. But once he
Just
becomes a threat from out there, I think it
just
opens up our offense.
just on the scouting report, we'll take the pick and pop three and we'll hit it at 35, 36%.
Yeah,
So,
we'll take 2 or 3 threes a game.
and if you leave him open, he'll make you pay. And
Yeah,
and to that point, even with or without the jumper, a lot of times he catches bigs flat footed and he just speeds right by them.
yeah,
He's very fluid when he gets to the paint, and he has some touch too. Like he's
yeah.
not
He's got
throwing up bricks at the rim. Like a couple layups tonight hit the rim a few times and softly landed in. He's not throwing up like ducks at the rim when he gets to the launching pad. That is
right. You know who else is on that development path? I don't know if you noticed it or not.
OG.
Huh? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say
No,
OG.
no, 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 no. I was actually thinking about an opposing player,
Oh, okay. Who?
Paul Reed.
Yeah, I thought those jumpers were absolutely horrible to look at, but apparently he's shooting damn near 40% from three,
Right.
and he's shooting a pretty solid percentage from the free throw line.
And confident when given space.
He took a couple high duress mid range jumpers and splashed them both.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah,
and I was just
yeah,
like, okay, clearly he's in the gym working on these things. You
yeah.
wouldn't you wouldn't teach anyone to shoot like that, but at that point, like if he's playing the five, he's usually not going to be heavily contested anyway shooting.
Right,
Even
right,
if he has a rep as a shooter,
right.
you can't heavily contest guys, especially if you got a guy like Tyrese Maxey on your team, where if you're trying to heavily contest Tyrese Maxey, heavily contest a big on a pick and roll with Tyrese Maxey, he's just gonna roast you
Right,
repeatedly over and over.
right. And he should. That's the basketball play. He should.
Yeah,
Right.
and if you're hedging and trying to trap Tyrese Maxey, and you're leaving this guy open, and he's shooting 38% from three, albeit on
Confidently. Yeah.
2 attempts a game, maybe at
Yeah.
most. That's all you need. That's all you need. Like just being able to do that adds so much value to your potential or your contract. Like Reed, if it was a contract year for Reed right now, and you were shooting 38% from three, someone would send a bag for him
Yep.
just off his age, his height, his physical ability, his versatility on defense.
Right.
But I believe he got paid last summer. Like they locked him in on a Deuce McBride type deal. So
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do you invest long term in Precious Achua, knowing you're watching a small sample size?
well, what do you consider invest? Like, is there a dollar figure? Is there a
No,
year
years. I'm
number?
talking about years. Investing is years. I mean, giving him a 2 year, like giving him 2 years, 30 million, to me is not investing in him. To me, that's giving him the bag. That's
Mm,
money, right? But
mm.
do you say, hey man, 4 years, we want to keep you around?
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
because there's a certain level of versatility that he can provide you, right?
Right. Right.
And if someone goes out, he can plug in a hole at the four or the five. And in some lineups, sometimes he can guard threes if you really let him.
Right.
Like remember the other night he was giving Paolo the business,
The
even though
business, bro.
Paolo finished with nice numbers because Paolo was going to be a problem in the league. He worked for everything.
Yeah. And Paolo's numbers, he didn't get all of those on Precious, bro.
No. Like a
No.
lot of them were in transition or shooting over smaller guys. Precious was giving him problems.
In the half court, he had to work for everything, bro.
He couldn't get around. Like usually the conundrum with a guy like Paolo is if you're quick enough, he's too big. He's just gonna get right through you.
Yeah.
If you're too big, he's just too quick and nimble and fluid. So he's gonna get around you.
Right. Right.
But the problem that Precious brings, he's just so nimble and light on his feet, and he's barrel chested with
Right.
bounce and long arms. So even though he's what is he represented as 6'8",
Yeah.
he plays
Like
a lot bigger
6'8",
than
245, I think, something
he
like that, 243, something like that.
plays a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
A lot bigger than that. While he moves like a guard or a wing at times on the perimeter, especially switching and hedging and trapping and
Yep.
getting to your man, and like it's a lot that he provides. It's like, remember we were talking earlier about like if the Knicks were playing some sort of zone or what have you, and I think we probably were both right in a sense.
Right.
Anytime they put Brunson on an island with like a premier scorer, if OG and Precious are in the game, we become way more aggressive in trapping to get the ball out of his hands because we have the faith that Precious and OG can cover ground and zone up in places and pre-rotate so teams don't get advantages regardless. That's Tibbs is the guy that actually weaponized the pre-rotation in basketball first. He was the guy that did it first
Okay.
or made it famous. Even with the icing, the 2008 Celtics
Right.
did pre-rotations before anyone else did.
Right. Yeah.
And that's credit to Tibbs, and that's credit to letting his personnel be dynamic in that way. Because as soon as Brunson saw Tyrese Maxey, Dante DiVincenzo started flying over. Then on the weak side and on the strong side, OG and Precious just started zoning up.
Right.
So as soon as you get a pass off, you're not really going anywhere because they're within an arm's reach and they're so athletic. It's
Right.
springy. It it's something. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. Like I like in this. I like in Precious and OG's impact. They're like they're like safeties that can cover for your, like, you have two ball hawking corners in Dante and Hart, and they're the safeties that are on the backhand protecting in case they do get beat.
Right. It reminds me. I don't know if you remember this team or not, but if you guys remember, for those in the chat, y'all might not be old enough to remember this, and I'm not saying it. I'm not doing ageism, right? Because there are some things I'm not old enough to remember, right?
Mhm.
But if you remember the 1980s, 90s Portland Trailblazers, right, that had Jerome Kersey, Cliff Robinson, and I think they had one other wing player, and they used to rotate them, right?
Mm.
And so Precious is kind of like our Jerome Kersey,
Mm.
right? Where he can guard small fives, mostly fours, and big threes, right? He can guard all those type of guys,
Mm.
right? And they also, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna look up the roster because I'm
I
gonna.
just I just looked up the '89 Blazers. They had Dražen Petrovic on that team
Yeah, they had
as
Dragic.
a rookie, and
Yeah.
did they not play him or something?
No, he wasn't playing because they had
I mean, of
um
course they had
I think they
one
had, I don't know if they had Danny Ainge at that point, but at one point they had Danny Ainge, Clyde Drexler,
Terry
Terry
Porter.
Porter, and one other guard. I cannot remember his. I always forget him.
Oh, well, I
They
mean,
had I forget.
Clifford Robinson was there. Cliff,
Yeah, Uncle Cliff was there. Yep. Yeah.
and like they listed him as a power forward, right?
Right.
But his game was just so versatile for that time. Like you could drop Cliff in today's game like nothing right now.
Right. Wow, they had Mark Bryant. Wow, I forgot about Mark Bryant. So I'm trying to think of their wing rotation. So I don't remember Nate Johnston ever playing, but I do remember Jerome Kersey and Cliff Robinson and Buck Williams. And for the record, Buck Williams was not 215. Buck Williams was like 240. Buck Williams looked like him and Oakley were saying
So they were
size.
lying on his
There's
word.
no, yeah,
I think that the team you're looking to is the 91 Trailblazers that had Walter Davis, Mark Bryant, Wayne Cooper, Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge was on the next team, the 91 team,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
won more games that year.
yeah. No, but the point I was getting at though is
Yeah,
the tandem of Jerome Kersey and Clifford Robertson could guard any wing tandem you put on the floor, and that's what I'm saying with Precious and OG Anunoby.
yep,
I think those two together, like one guy starts, the other dude comes off the bench. They'll play limited minutes together, and sometimes they'll sub in and out for each other. Right?
yep.
It'll be like kind of interchangeable, but in those strong defensive moments, you know what I'm saying, you can play both of them together. I could see a scenario where if we play Orlando in the first round, I could see a world
We
where
go
Precious,
jumbo
yeah, Precious plays the five a lot,
for the
right?
versatility.
Yeah, yeah, because Orlando's centers are jump shooting centers and they're not low post centers.
Yeah,
And so instead of having Mitch in for rim protection, right, you'd have Precious. And I'm talking about in spurts. I'm not talking about all game, all series long. I'm
because
just talking. I could,
they stopped playing Goga Batazi, which was he's more of a traditional banging center. Like remember we lost to them. He was giving us problems in that.
yeah, he was giving us problems.
Now he's out of the rotation. So,
Yeah,
but for
and
like
so
if we were to play them in the series, they'd have to probably play him because the physicality would just be so overwhelming from our part. Like we we would be so physical, we would dictate to them that they'd have to play their more physical center,
yeah, yeah,
at least
and
from the
plus
back
he's a
end.
physical center that can catch, excellent hands in traffic.
Yeah,
I think that's rule number one. If you're a big man and you don't have hands, you're not really a big man.
and he sets real screens, not
Yeah,
those those fake Mo Wagner screens.
right. He reminds you of you remember Gortat,
Yeah,
Martin
Mar-
Gortat.
Machine Gotat.
Yeah, the dude that he just was
He was
so
the best backup center in the league behind Dwight.
yeah,
Then he went to the
yeah,
Wizards.
yeah,
He
yeah.
started there for a couple of years, or more than a couple. I think
And then
7.
he
I
he
think he went to the Suns.
started out as Dwight Howard's backup
Yep,
in Orlando.
yep.
Right. And then I think that's how it goes. I'm not for sure.
I
Either way,
believe he started as a backup over there. Then he eventually wound up on the Wizards. Got
right,
paid a lot of money.
right. Yeah, because he I think he had a stretch in Phoenix. I think he left Orlando and went to Phoenix. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I believe so. I believe so as
Right.
well.
But 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 yeah, so the thing about Precious is the thing I'm getting the thing I was getting into about Precious is not that I think he's a developmental player, right? Because ultimately he can find a living just doing what he's doing right now,
Yeah,
right? But when you watch him play though, you understand that there is more potential there to him. It's like when you watch the backup center in Minnesota, you're like, hey
not
man,
Nas Reed.
yeah. You're like,
He
wait a
hit
minute, he
like
got
I think he hit
handles,
like I think he hit like seven or 8 or 9 threes the other night. Like
bro.
he's assuming the Carl Towns role, and and you see the versatility and confidence that he has. And you know what's funny for you? He got paid. Remember, he
Yep,
got paid last year, so he's
yep,
coming in with the mentality like everything is calmed down. He
yep.
knows he belongs. He knows what's expected of him.
He here.
Yeah,
Once you get the bag, you here.
yeah,
Once a team gives you 3 years, 45 million, you here. Team
yeah.
give you 4 years, 60 million, you here.
hmm
And from there, it's all about your legacy and winning. It's not about the paper no more.
Yep. You comfortable. You settle down. You already know who you are or what's expected of you. And once that's out the way, you see guys get calm and grow and blossom. Like
Right.
usually, like even the mega stars, they usually blossom in that second year. that second contract
Right. 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 No doubt. No
once
doubt.
that extension hits.
Yeah, no doubt. I do believe that Precious. It depends on what the Knicks want to do, right? So if the Knicks want to go out and go get a star, there's no way they can bring Precious back.
Mm, right.
It's one of the
Unless they were to try to move someone else, which is
yeah.
harder.
It's the it's the unfortunate part of the business.
Yeah.
You know, you only allowed a certain amount of resource.
I saw like a Twitter thread about him, about Precious, and it was like they basically described the three acts of um of Precious when he got to the Knicks, and it was like first act. I want to credit there's Presidente on Twitter. Like Precious' first act with NYK was very lost, confused center. The second act was a very tipsy center who understands his job, is just protect the rim and grab boards.
Right.
And the third act is apparently a versatile power forward. Here's three plays that Precious blew my mind from the Orlando game. But yeah, it was like a Twitter thread that basically shows like his growth and his confidence growing, and maybe that versatility will bloom next year. Like you never can tell, never can tell how things plan out. But if it ain't with us, he's gonna blossom somewhere else on another team.
Well, the
If they
one
have a
thing.
coach that believes in him.
Well, the one thing I will say about Tom Thibodeau is this: Tibbs is not going to develop babies,
Mhm.
right? We've seen enough, right, to know that Tom Thibodeau is not going to develop the babies, right? But if you're a dude on your second or third or fourth team, like 24 years old or something, after you get the Similac off your breath, after you stop being wet behind the ears,
Mhm.
Tibbs can turn you into a player, right? I've seen them do it with Josh Hart. Josh Hart was not this player in three other stops. He was not. And I know people will say, well, the Knicks paid a first round pick for him because of. Nah, they paid a first round pick because they saw the potential of what he could be here. Josh Hart was not this player. And think about this. If Josh Hart was a 6 triple double a year guy, right? Would he really have been on a $13 million contract?
No.
No. See, Josh Hart's extension, when Josh Hart extension kicks in, that'll be his third NBA contract, right? Because he had a rookie contract, rookie scale contract, right? He was the number 30 pick in the first round, right? Then he signs a different contract, right? The
3
one he's
years,
on now
40.
for 12.9 with the player option,
Yeah.
right? And then there's the third contract, the one that'll kick in next year, right? If Josh Hart was this type of player in the previous stops, we probably wouldn't have been able to afford him.
No. Especially not the Josh Hart that we got at the end of last season.
Right.
Like it looks like he finishes regular season strong.
Under Tibbs, yeah.
Yeah, under Tibbs, yeah.
Yeah, because I looked at his numbers the previous year before he got to Tip. Nah, he didn't finish strong at all.
Mm.
His end of season was whack. I think he shot like 32% or something.
But that
Weird.
team was probably out of contention when
In
he was.
transition, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so no, but
Yeah.
you really can't really read too much until you like get the proper context for certain things like that. When you see remember like when we out of contention and you see in games where quickly Grimes and Obi all score 30, and it's just like okay, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, they have talent, but
Yeah, we have to take it for what it is. Yeah. But on the Precious note though, on the Precious note, what I would consider him to be is our I'm gonna consider OG Anunoby our Vincent Askew,
Mm,
right? A very low key, very understated, very non-assuming guy that's very impactful on the floor.
mm.
Very impactful. Like when you watch OG Anunoby's numbers tonight, they don't jump out off the page at you. right? I think OG might have had like 12, 14, 16 something points and whatever. But his impact on the floor is phenomenal, right? And when you look at OG, and then I mean, I'm sorry, not OG, but when you look at Precious, when you look at a Precious, you look at like a jumbo. To me, he's a jumbo wing player, and I know what people are saying. Nah, he's a power forward, right? Big State is in the building. State, what's good? Congratulations on your joint, bro.
Salute State. I'm gonna have to come down to that liquor store. Man, his setup is nice.
Yeah, talk some hip hop, bro.
Facts.
Yeah, talk some hip hop. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to get over there during the summertime. You know what I'm saying? So, but we'll see how. But man, when it comes to Precious though, I think Precious is gonna be super valuable this summer,
Mhm.
right?
If not for us, he might be a sign and trade chip for another team that might value what he
Right,
does.
right.
But I hope we can bring him back similar to like a Nas Reed type deal.
We gotta
Where
bring back OG.
I think that's a foregone conclusion. He gonna get his money no matter what.
Right now, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we gotta bring back OG Hartenstein.
Oh, you can't pay everybody.
Yeah, you talking about bringing back Precious?
Oh,
I mean, do you like Shake Milton? I know that's neither. I know he'll be the league minimum type guy, but I
well,
mean,
if he's league minimum, that won't count against your cap. So,
yeah.
but the other three, yeah, it's gonna be very very rough. It's gonna be a lot of tough decisions to be had. And be honest with you, it might be some tough decisions to be had between players that aren't even them, like guys we might consider staples. So
Mm. Yeah,
you can't bring everyone to the championship. Like we thought Gary Harris was a pretty solid player. He still is, right?
yeah. But that contract they gave,
Yeah.
that was that they kept him there for leadership though. When I was Orlando, that's all they talked about is how Gary Harris is. You got to pay for leadership.
The way he was there, like, and then I'm talking about like the Denver Nuggets, Gary Harris, like he was there before Jamal Murray. Like they were viewing him as part of the future. You can't
Yep,
keep everybody. Everybody can't be part of your future. You trying to
yep,
win a championship. Gotta
yep.
pick. You gotta pick a means to build your team and surround it with talent, and, and make sure it abides by CBA rules.
You know who is gonna make a real impression by the contract that they take.
Who?
To me, it's gonna show me, is it all talk, or or is it about the money, right? Jalen Brunson. When it comes time for Jalen Brunson to get his extension, is he gonna give money back like Randall did?
If he, I don't know if he's gonna do that.
And see, the thing is, he don't have to. And if
We
he chooses
entice we
not
entice
to,
we entice Randall with the years more than anything because Randall gave up the money, but we gave up probably more years than another team might have at that current moment, right?
right, right.
I don't think like they're gonna. He is the prodigal son, freely.
But
They're
Randall
gonna give him.
Randall absolutely wanted to be here.
Yeah,
Right. Randall absolutely wanted to be here because at the time the Knicks needed someone like Randall, and Randall needed a place because people forget this, bro. And listen, I know I'm a Randall homer, and it's because I'm in South Carolina and I watch SEC basketball all the time. It's the reason why I wanted Knox. It's the reason why I wanted Quickly. It's the reason why I wanted Randall. It's the reason why for a time I wanted Cat. It's the reason why for a time I wanted Anthony Davis. It's the reason, I wanted Sindarius Thornwell, PJ, a whole bunch of guys, right? Anthony
mm,
Edwards, because I get to see him all the time, right? But my thing is with Randall though, in that Randall draft, in that Randall draft, Randall was probably a top 4 pick, right? You knew the kid out of Chicago, the one that kept blowing out his knees. the dude that went to Simeon High School in Chicago, the mellow type dude. Y'all know who I'm talking about? The one
What's
with
it?
Milwaukee.
Oh, you talking about Jabari?
Yeah. Yeah,
Jabari Parker.
you knew he was gonna be the first or second pick. And you knew the Canadian kid, the dude that looked like that, you knew Andrew Wiggins was gonna be either the
Number
1 or 2
one.
pick,
Yeah.
right? Because dudes with like 42-inch verticals come from a basketball family, easy athleticism, probably top 20 athlete in the NBA upon arrival,
The
right?
pedigree spoke for itself.
Yeah, you knew he was going to be. The only thing about Wiggins you didn't know is
The
was
mental
he
aspect.
a the thing with Wiggins was he a soft millionaire kid who was going to get to the league and just cash checks, or did he have dog in him? And we didn't know at the time, right?
You see it now, like the Anthony Edwards is the antithesis of him because you
Of
could
that,
describe him almost the same way. Besides the upbringing, of course, because he was from inner
yeah,
city Georgia, but
right,
like, the whole physical profile,
right,
literally could do anything. Was a man child in college, right?
yeah. When dudes like Kobe are like, "Hey, man, that dude's good," you know what I'm saying? When
Yeah,
people are co-signing you for no reason, just randomly,
yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this dude might be it. But Randall in that draft, Randall probably should have went higher than Joel Embiid, who was the goofy, awkward kid that went to Kansas because Wiggins went there,
Mm.
right? And come to find out that Joel Embiid, injuries aside, like you couldn't take a dude. Shopper be buyer beware when it comes to big man with injuries. You don't want to draft another Greg Oden,
Yeah.
right? But come to find out, it was buyer beware for Milwaukee. But if it wasn't for that, you may have never seen a Giannis. But anyways, the point that I'm getting at is,
But Frieza, could you imagine like Jabari actually hit it, made it to his prime, and Giannis was at his? That would be a nightmare front court.
can you imagine if they would have also got Spencer Dinwiddie in that Chris Middleton trade?
Oh God, he
Man,
actually.
Milwaukee would, bro. Think about all of that, right? And then I think a couple of years later they drafted Malcolm Brogdon.
And then they let him go.
And then because they couldn't sign him, they didn't have enough money.
I mean, they drafted Dante.
Yeah, they drafted Dante too. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, man. Kudos to Milwaukee's front office. But
They could draft. They
yeah,
could draft.
man. Yeah, man. But the thing I was gonna say about Randall though is Randall always had top 5 NBA or top 5 draft talent. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But Randall was slowed and hobbled at Kentucky. He just looked like a big that was kind of athletic that could run, but wasn't very fast or quick. But
Mhm.
nobody knew that he was playing through a broken foot the entire season. Right. And if you're a Knicks fan and you hear this story right now, you're like, damn, Randall played an entire year on a broken foot, but didn't know it was broken. He just thought it was sore. Like when you tell him to when he was on the Paul George podcast, he said he thought his foot was sore just because he had took the next step to college, and he just thought he was sore because of the competition in college every night. You know, he
You know, Coach Cal's working them boys to death.
to death. To death. And the thing is, before Randall, I think they had a more talented power forward. They had a more talented left-handed power forward that could do more stuff than Randall.
The Rockets drafted him. I
Yeah,
believe.
but he didn't have that dog Randall had in him. Like he didn't have
He
that fight. There's a dude named Terrence Jones.
Terrence
Yeah, I
Jones
remember.
should have been way better than
He
he
should have been.
damn near won a playoff series for the Rockets. Remember, I think they were
Yep.
down 3-1,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
he just started playing out of his mind. I
He
guess the
just.
Clippers, I believe.
Yep. What's good, boss?
Salute.
Yo, what's shaking, OG? What's up, man? Talk to me, man. I was at the game tonight, actually, too. And,
Okay. Okay.
from what I seen from my vantage point, shout out to people I know in the garden and stuff. Gracie's, by the way. Couple of things. So I got 5 things to say to you. The first be the generational defender.
Whoa! You breaking up?
You backing
You
up? I
breaking
can't.
up? Breaking up, Steve.
Breaking up.
Yeah.
This sucks. All right. You can hear me now?
Better now.
Yeah.
Okay. So OG Anunoby, I feel like he's a generational defender. That's one. I haven't seen a player who literally cuts off one half of the basketball court besides Kawhi Leonard and Ron Artest and Tony Allen. So that's one. 2, Julius Randle has a chance to be the best Knick of all time if he wins a championship this season. Based off the cultural impact, based off of the fact that there's current 19 to 22 to 23-year-old Knick fans who watched Julius Randle come here about 5 years ago, and that's all they know. So and under the circumstances that we've been losing for the past 23 years, we only have like 4 playoff appearances before Tom Thibodeau, and the culture and where we're at and what he's done for us. So I would view him, if he wins a ring this year, as the best Knick of all time. The third thing, Tom Thibodeau tonight made me go from, so here's my like meter for Tibbs. Before tonight, it was 0. After tonight, it's a 2. The thing that stood out to me with him, he stood up the whole game, Freezy.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Bro,
He's a psychopath, man.
he's
I've been telling everybody that,
Yo.
bro. People say not to cut you off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Tom Thibodeau is managing the game. They don't know that Johnny Bryant is behind him, doing everything on the bench, bro. Johnny Bryant run the entire show behind Tibbs. Tibbs stands up close to the edge of that coaching box all game, yelling instructions, bro.
Yo, I watched Tibbs tonight I watched Tibbs tonight in the fourth quarter, literally stand up the whole fourth quarter, bro. You're up 30, bro. Why are you coaching so hard, bro? Why are you calling plays, bro? He's just coaching hard. He's just reminding me of New Yorkers. That's the third thing. Like my likeness for him went up to a 2.
If you look at his left, if you look at his left hand, is shaking the whole time. His hand be shaking the whole time. Like he's so into it.
Yo, I swear, yo, Tibbs is a maniac. This is 4. 4 is one of the most important things to me because you don't see these things. Like you kind of don't see these things on the TV screen as opposed to like actually being at the game. And he actually listens to his assistant coaches. So I seen Rick Brunson walk up the Tibbs twice in the fourth, and when you say Johnny Bryant runs the bench, he do. But I watched Rick Brunson literally get up, walk the Tibbs. I'm watching this. We already blowing the other team out, and I'm watching what everybody's doing. Shout out to Big Pazar Dante. Rick Brunson walks up, he whispers something to Tibbs. Like he whispers something. They had like a 30-second convo. Rick Brunson walks back to the bench. Alec Burks immediately gets up for Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Then I watched Johnny Bryant literally after that sub, literally get up off the bench, go talk to Shake Milton and Jericho Sims. Those 2 entered the game.
Yeah.
So what I seen tonight from Tibbs, it made me feel bad about certain things I used to say about him as far as the way he coaches and the way he carries himself and the way he carries the team. So that was the 4th thing. Like I noticed, like his assistant coaches. Number 5. Jalen Brunson saved the franchise, bro. He saved the franchise, bro. And what I mean by save the franchise, this guy literally comes to the Knicks in 2022 revives Julius Randle's Knick career. Literally revive, because I want him fucking gone, bro. Excuse my language. I'm so sorry. But I wanted Randle gone. And ever since Brunson got here, you can feel it's like
Calm.
Yeah, you can feel the calmness in this guy. And he saved Randle's Knick career. He saved Tibbs' job by making the offense look functional. Prime example, the game we played the other day with Deuce McBride started, as opposed to the very next game when you see Jalen Brunson starting. The Knicks are like a totally different team. They look composed, confident, and organized. They had 32 assists tonight, bro.
Yep.
And when Brunson's in the game, it just feels like he's the perfect leader. Don't get me wrong. When we get in the playoffs, I'm going to want him to dominate. But at the same time, he can't be the guy that's the main guy in the playoffs, bro. Because he's too small. So out of OG Anunoby and Randle, one of those two is going to have a Hall of Fame caliber playoff run. And 6, my fault. I got to add one more. The Villanova boys. I watched Josh Hart, Uncle Freezy, pull up middies, pull up three-pointers. The man is playmaking like a madman. I noticed that 2 months ago.
Right.
Triple-double. He had 19 rebounds. I watched it live. He was muscling people.
Yep.
Live. It's kind of different when you watch it live.
Bro, hey, tell them how physical the game is, bro.
Yo, mad physical, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, man.
Yo, it's so physical that Bojan looked like straight up trash tonight. He looked horrible. He took 2 shots. And when you're watching the game live, you could actually watch him struggle. It's different from the TV. He can't get a shot off. Too slow to come around picks. He can't guard his man. I watched him get beat off for 5 backdoor cuts easily because of him. And he's been atrocious.
It's weird though. It's weird though
because of him.
Yeah. Hartstein and Jalen let that guy get down.
Yeah,
it's weird because
Oubre get all the way to the rim and dunk on Hartenstein, bro.
It's weird because he destroyed the Sixers himself a couple weeks ago.
So let me shoot you a question.
He destroyed them. Go ahead.
Was that at home or was that?
It was at the road. It was at Philly.
Case closed. Case closed.
I will say this is the thing when teams come into the Garden, it's like they gotta up their level of intensity and physicality because they already know a Tom Thibodeau team is gonna be physical off the rip.
Correct. So
So they already trying to play up to it, and there's always gonna be the reps involved too. So they're just gonna make the game a whole junk fest. I mean that's what they did the first game that we just played them. That game was trash.
I swear to God, I added him tonight. He needs to be drug tested. It's no way he's playing this well, bro. When you get the Villanova boy, this is why I said the Villanova boy. Dante DiVincenzo, bro, 7th in the league in deflections, shooting 40+% from the 3. Already the 4th Knick all-time with 200+ threes. He's easily about to break Evan Fournier's record. Right. Might be low-key one of the top 10 best Knick pickups in Knicks history. Right. That is insane with Leon.
For value, might be top 5, bro.
No, it can't be top 5. Because
value. He making $11 million, bro.
Julius Randle. 20.
Yeah, of course. I got Julius top 5 too.
Jalen Brunson not making 30. Carmelo Anthony when he first got here, right?
Yeah.
4th, Tyson Chandler with the way we got him. 5th for me, J.R. Smith. I'm just showing love. But right now,
can I add my guys, man? Because there are a couple of guys we leaving out. Like I just want
his era. You got
yeah.
to
Hey, so shout out. Let me shout out to Dave DeBuscher because before Dave DeBuscher, we was just a talented young team with no direction, and DeBuscher came here and was our vet.
Was
right?
that Draymond before Draymond?
Yeah, he was Draymond before Draymond, except DeBuscher was probably about 210. Dave DeBuscher was probably about 6'6", about 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", about 210. He's probably about Klay Thompson size, right? And then to shout out to Earl the Pearl Monroe, who we got from the Baltimore Bullets. You know what I'm saying? Also, what Spencer Haywood.
I feel like that's cheating though.
And Bob McAdoo.
I feel like it's just cheating to put Bob McAdoo, Walt Clyde, Monroe, Willis
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I don't even like mentioning those guys. That's why I don't put those guys in that category because it's just too much greatness there. But I did say tonight, even on the space, if Randall wins me a chip this year, bro, he's the best Knick of all time, bro. He has to be, bro, in my opinion. Because all of this would have never started if he would have never signed here.
Right.
And it's just culturally for me.
Bobby Portis would have been our franchise player.
Hey, look, we gave Marcus Morris the keys. Don't ever forget that for that half a season. We gave him the key.
Yeah. We just still been trying to trade for Jay Crowder. Remember that? We was trying to trade for Jay Crowder.
Yeah, but to that point you was talking about State, like you said, we need Randall to get to like a Hall of Fame type level. I'm gonna keep it real with you. In this era, you need two guys playing at a Hall of Fame level, regardless to win the title.
You need five. You need five. So when I say you need five, for example, Aaron Gordon won Denver games.
Yeah, because he was locking up Braun, locking up KD, locking up Giannis. I mean not Giannis, but locking up in the finals.
Yes.
Locking up Timmy.
And then you got Jamal Murray. I watched Jamal Murray and Jokic both have a triple-double in a playoff game.
That man was averaging like 30 and 10 for like a whole season.
Yes. Then you got Michael Porter Jr., one of the best shooters in NBA in the NBA right now. So when you have these certain players and they give you like Hall of
KCP,
KCP was shooting lights out, bro. So
which is like the blueprint for what we want Dante to be.
Mm-hmm. No,
Brown. Yep.
I think Dante better than those two.
I think he is too, but like in the same way though, like when we get to the playoffs, all we want from him for the most part is for him to keep them deflections up, shoot the three at a high clip. You know what I'm saying? Put the ball on the floor a little bit. But that's what KCP does for like and revolve around the star player. And that's what he does.
Be a ball mover too. We need him for because teams are going to trap Brunson. The first minute of the first game in the playoffs, teams are going to start trapping Jalen Brunson
just to see what happens. To see what happens.
You know, and the reason being is because in a 7-game series, everything changes from game to game. Like if we're the bottom seed, say we're the 5 seed and we play the 4 seed, well, the 4 seed is gonna try to maintain home court, right? They're gonna try to win both games on their floor because if we win one of those games, that means we now have home court advantage until they take one.
Yeah.
Right. And so their teams are just going to be like trapping Brunson off the rip to see if there's a flaw in the Knicks game plan. And so Dante is going to be super important and not trying to become a hero, but using his playoff experiences to navigate those playoff defenses that younger players wasn't able to navigate in previous playoff runs.
Like Grimes. I was gonna say Freezy, it's like almost like a boxing match. They just send up the jab just to feel you out in the first round.
Right.
See what happens. And then you make your adjustments from there. And it's like a chess match.
All the Knicks need right now is for Randall to be healthy, bro. After what you've seen tonight, when he had multiple players and double-digit points, and when I said to Knicks fans these past couple of years, Randall not a championship one, well, maybe he don't need to be. Maybe he just needs to pitch in. If Josh Hart continues to score like this, OG Anunoby continues to be efficient, and Brunson continues to play like this, I don't see a team in the Eastern Conference. And shout outs to Kawhi Leonard because he got hurt tonight.
Back spasms.
Yeah.
I don't see a team in the Eastern Conference that I'm afraid of where I don't believe the Knicks can't get to the finals. I think this is probably the best shot we had in 24 years, Freezy. The best shot. And there's no way Randall's looking at this and he's saying, I'm getting surgery, bro. Mitchell Robinson, we're watching him now dribble the basketball, doing layups, doing kid camps. That's a
Tim said he's doing
sign.
Tim said he's doing context.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's nice to hear.
That's what he said
That's
before the
nice to
game.
hear. So, yo, Tibbs, man, keep it up, man. I want Tibbs to keep it up, man. I want this team to keep winning. But Tibbs got to keep up this. I want to play Precious at the 5 sometimes. I want to bench Alec Burks the whole second half until Rick Brunson talks to me. I want to keep Deuce McBride in. When he get those things down pat, I don't think the Knicks can lose. That's my final take for the night, man.
Right.
So I absolutely got to get up early in the morning. I got this new job. Well, I moved up at work. You know,
Congrats, man.
I got to make sure like I get good enough sleep. Like 4 hours is good. 4 or 5 hours be good. Uncle Freezy, no. 4 hours, you straight.
Yeah, straight, bro. I'm recharged, bro. I'm like a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the docking station and charge for 45 minutes, and I'm good for 8 hours, bro. That's not good long term, bro. Well, you know, one day my battery is gonna not go. But anyway,
hey, look, man. He gonna be in the job calling everybody like pet names, not their real name.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. On that note, I'm gonna get out of here too, man. I got a date. So I'm taking a day off to finish up the back porch. So hopefully we'll get that done. You know, State. I'm trying to. So it's like 1,000 square foot of just you know what I'm saying, like safe space where I could just go out there and just unwind, relax. You know, I'm painting it all white. It's just gonna be like a relaxed space.
Oh yeah, I like the sound of that. You play some jazz music or something.
Yeah, I'm putting a mini bar out there. And a fridge and a sink out there. And putting blinds and all that. Yeah. So
I'm doing that sounds great, man.
It's gonna be the herb room. Yeah, man.
Yo, man, I had to sacrifice some sleep just to pull up, man.
Man, appreciate you, bro.
Show some love, man.
Appreciate you, bro. And I'm gonna try to make it up for the summer too, man. So that we can
you gotta come to liquor store
away and get like some steak or something.
Yeah, man. You gotta come, man. You gotta pull up, man. You also gotta come on the pod, man, soon, man.
Man.
You know I'm running the channel now, man. You gotta come on the show soon, man. Hopefully, my schedule this weekend. I don't have a pod this weekend. So if you want to come on this weekend, we can definitely talk about it in the morning because my brain is like kind of jammed.
Yeah, me too. Fried. Yep.
So, yo,
man, put your brain on the charge.
Well, you know how to reach me, man. I'm here. And like what Dre said, man, get charged up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
gonna hop in on one of your spaces too, man.
Yeah, yo, anytime. Yo, I'm gonna send you my number on Twitter, Freezy. I got you right now. Yo, salute to y'all, man. Salute to the chat too, man. Y'all good people. Y'all great people. Knicks fans, we all want the same thing. Y'all know how I view this team. I view the Knicks as what I'm watching, right? You give me Alec Burks, you give me Alfred Payton, you give me Reggie Bullock, you're gonna get State complaining. You give me OG Anunoby, you give me Dante DiVincenzo, you give me Josh Hart, State gonna be happy. That's all I got to say, man.
Throw Precious in there.
That's it, and Precious.
And Precious.
Yeah, and that's just the way the game goes. Thank y'all everybody for tuning in and watching. Thank you, State, for coming through and rocking with us. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to IKBM Dre coming in. I'm supporting Josh Hart, man. Appreciate that, man. We're gonna get out of here. Peace, everybody.